Have you been wondering where and how to learn videography with live streaming and music master classes? At Nairobi Institute of Music and Performing Arts, Instrument and Performance. Our courses are practical. Upon completion of the course, NIMPA will visit our website
Music and Performing Arts, digital media discussions. And this Thursday evening, we are going to have a very engaging discussion. We have got two guests in the house. We have got Dr. Susan Gitimo. Dr. Susan is a lecturer of film at Kenyatta University. She's also the WIFA Awards Director. Then we also have got Biko Nyongesa. Biko Nyongesa is a director at here. So thank you so much for joining us. Today our discussion is on film, festival and awards. Is the objective being met? And so that's our topic. And first, maybe tell us something little about you before we delve on the topic and why you're here to discuss the topic. So Susan, maybe you can start.
At Kenyatta University, and I'm also the awards director for Women in Film Awards. The very first awards ceremony were held this year, March 4th.
Yeah, congratulations. I can remember that day, lovely evening. And being the very inaugural, I think you really did something that the industry has been waiting for a long time. So congratulations for taking that step that many have been thinking of, but they didn't have the courage to do.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Biko Nyongesa, why is you so enthusiastic about discussing this topic?
Because first of all, it's about festivals, and myself have been involved with festivals since my campus days. We formed what was the first student festival. It was called Filamu, but unfortunately it didn't survive. That's why when I got an invitation to this discussion, I said, let me come have 2-3 things to talk about it.
I remember Filamo, yeah,
Yes.
because I think that was the one greatest students' initiative.
Yeah.
I don't know why it broke. Maybe it's because when you guys stopped being students, you pursued other interests.
Yeah, probably we outgrew some things,
Yes.
and also organizational matters, and largely funding.
Largely funding.
Yeah, because running a festival is very tasking. You need a lot of fun to put things together, and we were just not getting the funds. Probably maybe we were students, and guys weren't able to trust us with some funds, and also maybe we didn't know how to get into some offices, get the funds, a lot of things.
Yeah, and when you talk about funding, I think I'll now introduce myself officially. I'm Dr. Zippy Okoth. I'm a film lecturer at Kenyatta University. I'm also a festival director of the Lake International Pan-African Film Festival. And when you talk about funding, I understand you. We are on our 5th year with the LIP Festival, and I can tell you it's not been very easy, but one thing I know is the more you go on, the more the interest of the audiences come through.
Yeah.
That's one thing I think we have enjoyed as a LIP. But the question today was, is the objective being met? Which I think maybe I can start by saying, like, every film festival has got a different objective. Like WIFA's objective is for to award women filmmakers. LIP is to recognize films in African languages, and Filamo was for student films. Yeah. But when we look at WIFA, since this was your inaugural year, I think you're at a very good stage to discuss your vision. Where do you see WIFA going? As in, what's your vision, and what do you think we should look out for?
And the whole idea was here. We read about them being celebrated outside the country in other festivals, but we would also want to not only celebrate training for the women, conferences for the women filmmakers, and actually open them to the wider. Right now, film is growing.
Uh-huh. As an actor and a director, why do you enjoy going to festivals?
First of all, the meetups. The meetups, they provide an opportunity for you to see other people's work and study them, because sometimes especially as a director, to network with people. But festivals provide this opportunity, so you get to the meetups, like when you engage in these conferences, either as a speaker or just as an attendee, you get to learn something new. You come out with something different. Back then, when I was a student, a campus student, we used to attend this festival for so many reasons too. Most of it was just food. Most of it was just for food.
That's a very important thing.
Most along the way, but for those of us that took it seriously, it really helped us kick off our career, because we learned how to write films, we learned how to market films, we learned how to network, which is a very important thing, the business side of film. A lot of around here I see people doing films with a lot of passion. And there's no business side to it. But when you go to festival, you understand that there's also a business side of it. Workshops like pitching, for us, most of the films, and I know you'll agree with me on this, we just come up with an idea in our house, and then I come to, hey, Dr. Zippy, I know you can fund my film, give me this and this and that, you know somebody with a camera. And so it's kind of communal. It's a communal backing, and then they see, if I'm going to give you 100,000, what am I going to get back? And most of us have come up knowing I can borrow 100,000 and make a film. We don't know that you need to give back this 100,000. So festivals have, especially for me, talking for myself, they've helped me put me in that mindset to understand that film can be a business. And also just to understand that it's okay to step back, because you don't need to make a film every year. Coming out of school, I was of the idea or the mentality that I need to make a film every year for me to be relevant. But then you meet people in these festivals and open your eyes and tell you, you also need to do research for 3-4 years, then create a good film that will last for the rest of your lifetime. And also you just need to make a few good films. You don't need to make 100 films.
Because that they are putting in money, but because when paying Susan, especially in the Kenyan industry. Susan, I'm going to ask you this. Maybe now, since your vision is to empower and create a self-driven industry for women, what do you think about women coming together to create a film? Because when you look at our Kenyan industry, people are working in cliques. Men are working in cliques. When they submit to a festival and 10 men running on stage and only 2 women. You get what I mean? And the 2 women are always the makeup artist and perhaps the production manager. But the men are doing lighting, camera, and all that kind of stuff. So
I think, and this is where now change comes in, because women, we have taken makeup artists, sets, we are really not embracing the technical roles. But now it comes to empowering women to take up these other roles as directors, as producers, as cinematographers, as light designers. So it actually empowers women to not only sit and take these back roles, but also to take these other roles. What also does is that when women work together, even the themes of the film, they kind of change.
True.
Because we present women who are more empowered. We present women who are more empowered. They are not always damsel in distress. So even the theme also changes. The women audience, that the film industry also grows.
Yeah, because when characterization will change, I think that's something that we've really noticed, not just in Kenya, but even in Hollywood. The female directors were complaining that, one, they're not even given enough equipment when they are the ones producing, when women are producing. And then 2, when scripts are being written, women are given roles of secretary, housewife, shall I say mpango wa kando.
They never get these lead roles in a film.
Yes, and when they get lead roles, it's not lead roles with a strong character. Like they can be the main actress, but the main actress of a woman suffering.
Oh, yeah.
Not main actress of the president of the state, not main actress of the CEO of an organization. So, and when we look at film that way, we ask ourselves, what may only be secretaries? Women can only be messengers. You get it, because there are quite a number of films that we watch. I think really in these things like she's the CEO. Or in a fashion industry, it's always like in a fashion industry. Then what do you think we need to do to change this narrative?
Now, the far you've come, Dr. Zippy, you've not come this far when you're stepping on other people.
Yeah.
You've not come this far when you're dealing with having. Yeah. So when a woman is the producer, when the woman is the director, yeah, she's not held back by the stereotypes of the society. She will show the world who women are. And that now we get to embrace even film that are the films where the woman is the lead character.
Bring the spanner into the works.
Yeah.
What stops women to take up these roles that you're talking about, especially in Kenya? Let's put in context in Kenya. What's stopping them?
When we are having gender balance issues,
Yes.
it is that thing that started with Kitambo. Our parents could not even get national IDs. And right now, when a woman wants to be given a role like a DOP, the first thing the executive producer starts thinking, is she married? Does she have kids? So will she be able to shoot at night? Will she be able to stay on set that late? Then they start thinking, okay, then when we are dropping her, so there are a lot of risks involved, or let me say challenges and costs that are involved in having a woman on your set. What we need to understand that these are natural occurrences. Like one, women need toilets that they can sit on or squat on. A lot of sets give a toilet. Man or woman, you can use that. Do you get what I mean? And so when somebody has to stand for long hours, like 12 hours, in some sets, directors are not even given chairs. You get what I mean? When a woman stands for that long, the weight on her back and her structure is worse than on a man. But now, are we able to put in these structures for women? So yes, nothing stops us, but it's a man.
Yes.
The same thing.
Yes.
When you are told it's a director in Kenya, the first thing it's a man. When you hear it's a woman, oh, you raise your eyebrows. Oh, it's a woman.
Of which I agree with you, and I cannot dispute the specialties that women need, okay?
Yeah.
But you see, in Kenya, and I'm speaking about Kenya,
Yeah.
I don't know about other countries, in Kenya, most women are producers.
Yes. The
They're
reason
the ones
most
who
women
hire.
are producers
Yeah.
is because we are very good at accounting.
These positions,
Yes.
they prefer men.
Because of the same thing. You see,
Yourself. Yeah.
however, it will take time before that changes. And then, and the international jobs, we have had 5. Huh? She has had the same 20 jobs. Of which all these 20 jobs, they are all low budget. Who will get the bigger job?
We need to stop seeing ourselves. Yeah. In my
Exactly.
profile, I'm going to write, I'm a mother, I love cats, I love, I love,
Yes.
and I don't put down what I have done.
Yeah.
How many films? We also need to take ourselves seriously. We need to market ourselves. I keep telling
We
you,
are all
we are
practitioners.
competitors.
Yes.
Let the best man, let the best.
It's just, I'm fighting for that same position. I cannot go for an interview and say, oh, Dr. Zippy is a woman, let me leave her this job. No, I think back to that point of, in Kenya, in fact, I've never seen a man producer in Kenya. I don't know of any.
Yeah, quite a number of them are women.
And
when you find a man producer, they hire a female production manager.
yes.
Yes.
So they need to make it deliberate that we are looking for women and all women crew, and then try out things, because it's about jumping the cliff,
Yeah.
and guessing if the parachute will open and stand up to the competition. Because then again, if we are going to fight for equality and equity, you'll find me in that finishing line, nimemaliza race, looking for another job. So I just won't give it to you on a silver platter.
I don't know whether this is the point I advertise myself.
Yes, you do.
Let me just say, in Midlife Crisis, the film that was supposed to be launched on 28th March, but due to coronavirus was not. We had all crew members were female except only 2.
Yes.
The DOP and the lights. But all the others from that, our whole set and crew, 75%
Now you see, you're doing it.
were women.
Yeah, you
Yes.
see, you're doing it. You're leading
So,
the way.
yeah.
So more women need to come up and do that. I remember when we were back in KU, there's I think it was a class behind. It was so great. I think Wanurikahi was among the jury member, Jim Bishop, and somebody else I don't remember. So it had been organized by some lady, I think it was called Kanya Kitili, and somebody
It was
else. So,
Kanya Kitili,
yeah,
yeah.
so it was a good initiative, and then it just stopped.
Why did it stop? You talked about many. Yes, funding is there, but sometimes I think we also need to look at collaborations. When we are looking at festivals, I want you to tell us about your experience as a Kalasha jury. You were part of the Kalasha jury in 2018.
Oh, yes.
What were you looking for?
Of course, there's a set criteria,
Yes.
but largely I had been nominated from Kenya Actors Guild. So I was sitting on the jury by virtue of the fact that I was a Kenya Actors Guild member. And so despite following the criteria, we were also emerging talent, you know, because at that point, I remember the jury either before us or I don't know, there was a bit of politics, and even the chair of the jury had nominated her film and went on to win like 7 awards and all that.
Yeah.
So our jury was there to kind of clean the mess up, okay? So we're looking for people that were coming up because we looked at ourselves as a transitional jury, you know, trying to bring in people that have not been there or have not received recognition at that point. And
That were good.
they were good. They had to be good. It wasn't just a matter of favor that,
Yeah.
okay, now you've not been seen and all that. And I remember it was very tight because then again, when you start thinking in such lines, people come in with the experience. And truth be told, people with the experience do really amazing work. You know, you cannot just take it away from them, say, we are giving newbies and all that. So one of the things we're looking was that. And of course, the quality of work that you're bringing on board. Yeah, I think basically just that. A lot of other things, but those were the two things that were really standing out because the commission had, the film commission had specifically said that we do not want any politics anymore. Just be
Yeah.
free and fair. And
fair,
I
yeah.
think we were the first jury who were awarded total power and everything. We're even given a place for a week to just, you know, make your decision and give us
Give us your best.
Yeah, give us your best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we talk about recognition, I'd like to look at our festivals and how it goes, it expands. When I look at the Lake International Pan-African Film Festival, one thing that we always take pride in is anytime we appoint a jury, we also give them that freedom. And any film that has always won an award at LIP, we always say we are proud to see that the year after, because to us, one, we look at it like as a film festival for films in African languages, we are creating that confidence that most filmmakers don't have. People believe that films in English are the ones to go to festivals. And because when you take a film in African language, it might not win. Because that's why you look at the festivals all over the globe, they have a category for best African language film. Why don't they want to believe that this film is just going to compete at the same level as the others? You get it? Yeah. So when we look at that, recognition at any level really gives mileage to a filmmaker. And before I come back to you on how it badly affects directors and actors when you get awards,
Yes.
I want to pick your comments and ask Susan. Susan, Biko talked about the Kalasha of 2018 where he was part of the jury. We're trying to have new who trained them were nominated in the same category. And what was your thought about that as a festival award organizer?
Now, one thing I like about WIFA is that it was recognizing a woman filmmaker of any level.
Yes.
And that is why, instead of calling for films, the public to nominate them, yeah. So that is why you found the teacher is competing with the student.
Yes.
Yeah. And in some instances, with WIFA, we were able to, talking of recognition, you realize the different film awards that we have. Film is democratic.
Yeah.
We have films that are dealing with sports, slam films,
Yeah.
documentaries. So we really cannot have one festival that covers
That's very true.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So with let's say LIP looks at the local language film,
Yes.
and local language film, it is a genre all by itself. If you take like KISSF, the
Yeah,
one
for
dealing with
sports,
sports,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they're also dealing with their own sports.
Yes.
If you take the rock and roll, Kofela,
Yes.
it's like that, eh? Is it Kofela or Rafiki, something like that?
I'm not so sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but them, they're dealing with film and rock and roll.
Yes.
So you realize that these films, we cannot have just one festival that is just festivals. You are able to recognize people from the lowest to the highest and motivate them.
Thank you so much. We'll pick up that. Guys, we're going to have a 1-minute break and then we'll be back. Check us. And then go to YouTube and kindly like the NIMPA digital media page. Subscribe so that you can be notified about the next shows. So, I want to start with you, Biko.
Yes.
Biko, you know about Cannes.
Yes, I do.
As an actor, I don't know, first, have you gone to Cannes?
No, I've not had an opportunity.
Tutaenda.
Yeah, I hope someday, yeah.
When Corona ends,
Everything will
we
happen
will
again.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when people talk about Cannes, it makes me feel like, God, I want to go to Cannes. But the other day, Brian Munene, who has gone to Cannes, was talking about Cannes. And he said, Cannes is not a festival for going to watch films. Cannes is business. Pure business. You go with your business cards, you have got your films, whether it is in flash disk or anything that you can render it in, and you share with distributors. If you're going to Cannes to watch films, then you're going there for the wrong reasons. So I am looking at it, and the closest to that is the Kalasha Film and TV Market,
Yeah.
which I think this year was going to be on its third year, was it not for this pandemic? My question is, as a director, would you sell the rights to your film? Because that's what people do when they go to festivals.
Well, it's a bit of a tricky affair. You know, when you're starting out, of which largely, let me just say this. As a Kenyan director, if I go to Cannes, I'm starting out, okay? There's always, and I've not gone to Cannes, so this is just an assumption. I stand corrected.
Don't worry, it
Yes,
just can't, but it's business.
Yes. First of all, this is what festivals should be about.
Yes.
It should be business, buying and selling, not watching films, okay? Enlightening one another, the opportunities that are there for us as young directors, as experienced directors, to get to that opportunity. So I can't say there's right and wrong. You can't tell people how to do their businesses. We all make decisions that we think will either work for us, and if they don't, then you have yourself to blame. And personally, that's how I like to do business. I could take advice from you, but at the end of the day, I'll make my own decision whether to sell my rights or not to sell my rights, depending with what's on the other end.
Before you go on, as you talk,
Yeah.
I also want you to give us the perspective of Get Some Money. You are the
Yes.
director of Get Some Money.
Yes.
And Get Some Money was the very first film in Kenya to fill cinema halls.
Yes,
like,
cinema halls.
Were they 4 or how many?
5.
Cinema halls.
Yes.
Hey, man. The corona.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at it and like, you guys did it.
Yes.
But now, beyond the cinema halls, after making all that money, did you ever submit to any other festivals? And did you even maybe get a distributor for it?
What happened is we never went into festivals. What we did is we got a distributor immediately. Now, ours was a bit of a tricky situation because when we got the distributor, we also got the money, okay? The distributor paid us. It was Quest Digital. But immediately they acquired the film, their platform flagged down. They closed. So we had the money and our film never showed for 3 years.
That's a moment of silence. Let's take a break. And we're back again because, I mean, that story of you get paid and then the station closes, I just had to take a break. And what happened next?
Yeah, so what happened is we got the money.